Tuscaloosa to frenzy. Firing. Touchdown, Alabama.
SEC champions, Alabama, Crimson Tide.
We talked about Alabama. Step back three. Money. And the Alabama Crimson Tide will roll into the Final Four.
Roll Tide!
Roll Tide, and welcome to Tide TV this week. I'm Lillian Everest, joined by Paige Riley. And Paige, it's great to be back with you, hosting another week with you.
Hey, it's great to be back, and we have got a lot to cover with Super Bowl 59.
We sure do. It was the most watched Super Bowl in history, and if you were a Crimson Tide fan, you had plenty to cheer for.
3 former coaches and 7 former players from the Philadelphia Eagles will get Super Bowl rings as Philly defeated the Kansas City Chiefs in Super Bowl 59.
Former Crimson Tide quarterback Jalen Hurts was named the Super Bowl MVP. Hurts broke several Super Bowl records, including most rushing yards with 72.
His 7 touchdowns in his first 2 Super Bowls are the most in history, and he joins Tom Brady as the only quarterback with a 70% completion rate and 3+ touchdowns in multiple Super Bowls.
Now, winning is nothing new for Jalen Hurts. He became the first quarterback to start as a true freshman under head coach Nick Saban. Hurts owns the Alabama all-time rushing touchdown record for a quarterback with 23.
Hurts was also the SEC Offensive Player of the Year and was a part of 2 SEC championships and 1 national championship during his 3 years with the Crimson Tide. And where did that Super Bowl champ go?
I'm going to Disney World.
Per tradition, the Super Bowl MVP usually goes to Disneyland or Disney World. He didn't get much rest as he was in Magic Kingdom the very next day, but it does look like he had a lot of fun.
His own personal parade at Disney World. That's very cool, and it's very much deserved, so congratulations, Jalen. And after this year's Super Bowl, Alabama has set a new record. The Crimson Tide now holds the all-time record for the most Super Bowl winning players, from Bart Starr and Joe Namath winning the first 3 Super Bowls to now having 54 players that are Super Bowl winners.
And also congratulations to Patrick Surtain Jr., the Denver Broncos defensive back and former Crimson Tide great, was named the NFL Defensive Player of the Year. He's the first Alabama player to win the NFL Defensive Player of the Year honor.
Congratulations to all of those former Alabama greats.
And speaking of greats, the Alabama men's basketball team is having one of the best seasons in program history.
Over the weekend, the 3rd-ranked Crimson Tide traveled to Fayetteville to take on John Calipari and the Arkansas Razorbacks on Saturday.
The Razorbacks grabbed their first and only lead of the game on the first shot of the game, and from there the Tide would never trail. Alabama led by as many as 10 in the first half. The first time came on this shot from beyond the arc from Aiden Holloway. That put the Tide up 18-8, and you know that this made Nate Oates happy. Alabama held Arkansas scoreless for almost 6 minutes in the final minutes of the first half, as the Tide held a 40-34 lead at the half.
Alabama continued their strong play into the second half. This one-handed, left-handed dunk by Cliff Amore gave the Crimson Tide their largest lead of the game at 18, up 62-44. Still up 18 with just over 6 minutes to go, the Razorbacks mounted a comeback using a 17-4 run over the next 3 minutes. The Hogs cut the Tide's lead to just 3 points, 79-76. Arkansas cut the lead to 2, but wouldn't get any closer as Alabama held on for the 4-point win on the road in Fayetteville, 85-81.
Big road win. This team had been playing well. They'd won 3 or 4. Issue was we were up 18, and then we didn't close it like we need to. So a lot of credit to Arkansas for not quitting. They fought. They stayed in it, took an 18-point lead with about 12 to go or so and cut that thing to 3. They're late. So, I thought our guys did a decent job closing once they cut it to 3. We were able to get a bucket. Grant got that put back, and we made a couple free throws, but we got to do a better job closing. We risked losing a road game that we were supposed to win.
The Crimson Tide had 4 players score double figures, led by Grant Nelson and Chris Youngblood, scoring 15 points each.
And Mohamed Diabate added 14 points on 7 of 9 from the floor to go along with 4 rebounds.
The Tide held off a late rally from the Razorbacks, who had defeated Kentucky previously that weekend in Lexington.
Let's take an all-access look at the Tide's 20th win of the season.
Welcome everybody to Northwest Arkansas. Legendary matchup here at Bud Walton Arena.
19,000 electric atmosphere. It will not be easy to get a victory.
Well, one of the special venues, and things are amped up a little bit since they've won 2 straight, but also since the guy named Coach Cal has decided to call Northwest Arkansas home. Ball goes in the air, and the tap is controlled to the backcourt to our right by the Crimson Tide. Nelson on the drive for Bama, gets inside, lays it in to answer back.
Possession, getting the ball to the rim.
Hands it off to Philon, over to Sears, right wing, deep 3, bottom, mercy! That one was from Rogers. Holloway left alone, top of the arc, for 3, bottom. What a mistake defensively by the Hogs. Sears in the corner, splitting defenders in the paint. Runner with the left hand is good, and he quiets the crowd. Gives it off to Nelson on the wing. He'll hand it off now to Youngblood. Let's fly for 3, bottom. This one from Chris Youngblood. No whistle, and the Hogs have cut it down to 5. But Bama goes inside and answers back, but a steal at midcourt by Sears. Driving in, tough layup, able to get it to drop. He took it away from the Razorback. 7. Nelson looking, throwing it to Mo in the paint at 4. At 3, spinning at 2, shooting it at 1, scoring. Half will end, and Bama goes to the locker room with a 40-34 advantage. Mohamed Diabate, big, getting the bucket in the paint.
When we get a shot, we're shooting 60% from the field. We can't turn it over, and we got to rebound the damn basketball. If we do that, we're good, but we got to get the energy
Tide's
up.
on top right now, 40-34 as the second half gets underway. Spinning again, shooting, it's good, and he's fouled. Jared Stevenson, a chance for the and 1. That's to Sears, Mark on the drive, wraparound pass to Amori. He slams it home, and Alabama has its biggest lead, or matches it at 10 points. 46-36 is our score.
Sears! Hell of a job! Woo! Look at that!
Way to go, 14:53 here in the second half. And
Diabate driving down the lane, kicks into the corner. Young 3 for the answer. Bottom, and he is fouled.
Self in the corner, and what a huge answer.
Arkansas's not going away. You got to finish this game. It's not going to be easy. They're not going to lay down. Alabama has to finish strong here.
Far side, Sears 9, Sears at 8, at 7, at 6, driving at C, layup good for 2, and it quiets the crowd as Bama leads by 5 with 2:22 to go. Looks outside Youngblood for 3, it's no good. Rebounded Nelson, lays it up and in. It's up and in, Youngblood. Let's get a stop right here, fellas.
Getting a stop, man. We're getting a stop.
We need one more stop. One more stop, fellas. Stevenson defending him. Wagner bringing it ahead. Gets it front court. They'll burn a timeout.
It's what we do. Right over half. Right over half court. They're out. Everything on the catch. It's a foul. What? Just on the catch.
Gets it in. Davis gives it off to Z. Bama's going to foul him immediately with 5:25 to go.
Tap it out.
Thero shot is up. It's perfect.
But a chance for Chris Youngblood to end this game with 2 made free throws.
Free throw upcoming. Free throw, no good. Rebound fought for off the leg of the Razorbacks. Mo challenge Z, and Z couldn't hang on. And it's Bama ball with 3:3 to go. Buzzer sounds, and what do you say, folks? Let's get out of here as the Tide holds off the Hogs. 85-81 is your final as Bama improves to 20-3 on the year. Now 9-1 in SEC play. Deadlocked for first in the conference standings.
Tide TV This Week is presented by the University of Alabama, where legends are made. Ford, visit your local Ford dealer, proud sponsor of the Crimson Tide.
College baseball is the best. College baseball in this league is the absolute best of the best because you get the energy, you get the crowd, you get all that. You got 6,000 people in there and that place rocking. That's why you come play college baseball right there.
Welcome back to Tide TV this week, and after the win over the Razorbacks in Fayetteville, the Crimson Tide traveled southwest to Austin to face the Texas Longhorns.
Now, the Tide and the Longhorns had not faced each other since 2017, and Alabama was 0-3 all-time in Austin. Early on, the Longhorns used a 7-0 run to take a 7-2 lead, but the Tide answered right back with a run of their own. An 8-0 run, including this three from LeBaron Philon, put Bama on top 10-7. Another tray by Philon capped an Alabama 18-7 run to end the first half, as Alabama knocked down 7 of 12 shots from three-point land as the Tide led at the break 49-31.
Alabama got perfection from a couple of their big men. Jaren Stevenson and Mo Diabate knocked down all of their three-point attempts. The closest the Longhorns would get in the second half would be 15, as the Crimson Tide took their biggest lead of the game at 25 on this three-pointer from Diabate.
Alabama went over the century for the 7th time this season as the Tide rolled in Austin 103-80.
Diabate, who I'm sure they chose to leave open, goes 3 of 3 from 3. Jaren, who we know can really shoot it, but hasn't shot it this well, in a game yet this year, but he did make 5 threes to send us to the Final Four last year when we beat Clemson in the Elite Eight. So he stepped up in big games before and had great shooting games. He ends up with a career high. I think he's been playing real physical, real aggressive, great defense. He was our matchup to start with on Trey Johnson, who's leading the league in scoring. And, I thought he did a pretty good job for the most part. So I think he's been locked into the right stuff. Really happy to see him have a great shooting game like he did tonight.
Alabama connected on SEC season best 17 three-pointers while shooting 59% from beyond the arc. The Crimson Tide had 5 score in double figures, led by Jaren Stevenson with a career-high 22 points. Stevenson connected on 7 of 8 from the floor, including 4 of 5 three-pointers.
Aiden Holloway and Mark Sears both added 18, and LeBaron Philon finished with 15, while Mo Diabate chipped in 13.
And this weekend, it will be a matchup of the year and the biggest regular season matchup in SEC history. It's the first 1 versus 2 matchup in Southeastern Conference history, and it will also be a 1 versus 1 matchup as Auburn is #1 in the AP poll and Alabama is #1 in the coaches poll.
And ESPN's College Game Day will be there to cover this historic matchup. Admission to College Game Day is free, and the doors open at 7:30 for students and 8 o'clock for the general public. College Game Day begins at 9 a.m. and lasts until 11.
Coleman's going to be crazy on Saturday, and I can't wait for that.
Neither can I, Paige. This is the biggest game in Coleman Coliseum history. And with Alabama and Auburn both atop the SEC 10-1, the winner will be ranked to the top-ranked team in the country and will have a 1-game lead for the conference title.
The Alabama softball team opened their season this past weekend in Arizona, and the Crimson Tide accomplished something that had never been done before in program history. We'll tell you about the record-breaking performance coming up next.
Tide TV This Week is presented by Ford. Visit your local Ford dealer. Proud sponsor of the Crimson Tide, the University of Alabama, where legends are made.
In every moment, greatness awaits. For the bold, the visionary, and those ready to take their shot. Here, we don't chase success. We define it. The University of Alabama, where legends are made.
Roll Tide, I'm Lillian Everest alongside Paige Riley, and this is Tide TV This Week.
The 11th ranked Alabama softball team opened the 2025 season this past weekend in Tucson, Arizona. The Tide played the last 5 games in the Candria Classic.
Alabama played a doubleheader on day 1. The first was a matchup against 22nd ranked Washington, and with the score tied at 1, Alexis Papillo put the Tide ahead for good with this solo shot to dead center field as the Tide defeated the Huskies 5-1.
In the second game on Friday, Alabama took on Michigan State. Marley Giles started the game off with a 2-out solo home run to left. Alabama would add 5 more runs as the Tide swept day 1 with the 6-2 win over the Spartans.
Another doubleheader on Saturday. The day started off with a rematch with 22nd ranked Washington, and Washington's Alexis DeBoer hit her first ever home run in the first inning. This 3-run shot by the daughter of the Crimson Tide football coach put the Huskies up 3-0. After a solo shot from Larissa Pruitt, Brooke Elistad had the game-winning hit with this 3-run home run to right, as Alabama improved to 3-0 with a 7-2 win.
After dropping Game 4 to 16th-ranked Arizona 9-1, the Crimson Tide bounced back with a big win on Sunday. Taking on Western Michigan, history would be made, and it would be done by a freshman. Audrey Vandegrift broke a school record with 5 stolen bases in one game. Vandegrift also had the game-winning hit in the top of the second, trailing 3-2. Her 2-run single back up the middle gave the Tide the lead for good as Alabama wrapped up the Candria Classic with a 14-5 run rule win. Team 29 went 4-1 on the weekend, picking up 2 25 wins. The Tide will return to action this weekend at the Clearwater Invitational in Florida.
And also in action this past weekend was the 23rd-ranked Alabama women's basketball team. The Tide made the short 84-mile trip to Starkville to take on the Mississippi State Bulldogs. With the help of back-to-back threes from Carly Weathers and Aaliyah Nye, the Crimson Tide jumped out to a 10-0 lead over the Bulldogs. Alabama knocked down 3 of 6 from beyond the arc in that opening period to lead by 15 at the end of one, 26-11.
Essence Cody and Sarah Ashley Barker each scored 8 points in the second period. The Crimson Tide led by as many as 28 in the second half, taking a 25-point lead to the locker room at the break, 47-22.
In the second half, the Bulldogs cut the Tide's lead to 13 in the fourth, but that would be about as close as they would get as Alabama rolled to the 20-point win on the road in Starkville, 80-60.
Just great execution of the game plan by our group. I thought collectively everyone from our bench to our first group did an excellent job today of understanding the importance of player tendencies and all the things that we wanted to do defensively to get our defense set, have the ability to contain them in transition and then one-shot opportunities. So we weren't happy at Florida. I mean, we gave up 18 offensive boards, and we did a much better job with that today defending the glass. So total team win, great balance offensively and defensively.
Sarah Ashley Barker led all scorers with a game-high 19 points. Barker almost had a triple-double as she also had 12 rebounds and 8 assists.
Essence Cody finished with 17, while Aaliyah Nye and Zay Green each had 12.
The win was the 20th on the season for the Crimson Tide. This win marks the fastest a Crimson Tide team has reached 20 wins in program history.
Yeah, another ranked team in competition this past weekend for the Tide was the 14th-ranked Alabama Gymnastics team as they hosted number 3 LSU in Coleman Coliseum.
Corinne Bunnigan tied her career high on vault with a 9.925 to give the Crimson Tide their second highest vault total of the season with a 4.9175. Lily Hudson and Chloe LaCourcier then scored back-to-back season high scores on the uneven bars with 9 9s.
Then on the balance beam, Lily Hudson had another season high tying score with a 9-9. Alabama then closed out the meet on floor, where Hudson recorded her third 9-9 of the night in the 5th spot. And Gabby Gladio remained undefeated on the floor exercise this season as she captured her 5th event title of 2025 with a near flawless and career high tying score of 9.975.
Despite a season high 4.95 rotation score on the floor exercise and 3 event titles, the 3rd-ranked LSU narrowly defeat the Crimson Tide 1.973 to 1.97075. Stay with us. We'll have our plays and players of the week coming up next on TideTV This Week.
We're going to be filled with Mudita like you wouldn't believe.
But this is a team that has been there, done that in terms of its history.
We're going to do whatever we need to do to get back to Oklahoma City.
And the Crimson Tide will ride this season's wave all the way to the World Series.
Welcome back to Tide TV This Week. I'm Lillian Everest, joined this week by Paige Riley. And Paige, we've already covered a lot of sports, but we still have a few more to talk about this week.
That's right, and a couple of those are the Alabama men's and women's tennis team. The 18th-ranked Alabama men's tennis team picked up a big 4-3 win over number 15 Florida State in Tallahassee over the weekend. The Tide picked up 3 big upset wins, including Philip Planishek and Mata Krisnik taking down the 4th-ranked doubles team in the nation. Planishek also defeated the 15th-ranked All-American Corey Craig, while Rowan Jones defeated the 27th-ranked Jamie Connell.
And the Crimson Tide women's tennis team picked up a big win on Tuesday. The Crimson Tide secured the doubles point before earning 3 singles wins as Maria Martinez Vaquero clinched the match on court 4 in 3 sets as Alabama edged Georgia Tech 4-3.
With softball starting this weekend, you know that means baseball is just around the corner. In fact, the Alabama baseball team opens their season this weekend with a 3-game series against Bradley.
Yeah, and this past weekend, the Tide held their annual Fan Day. It was a chance for fans to come meet some of their favorite players and get a preview of the Tide and Rob Vaughn's second season as head coach of the Crimson Tide.
What's up, dude? One, two, three, stop. One, two, three.
College baseball is the best. College baseball in this league is the absolute best of the best because you get the energy, you get the crowd, you get all that. You got 6,000 people in there in that place rocking. That's why you come play college baseball right there.
Ellisad with a fly ball to deep right field, way back, way gone! Brooke Ellisad gives the Crimson Tide the lead with a 3-run shot.
Blocked by Cody. Green into the lane, off the glass, good. And that'll end the quarter.
Youngblood fouled on the 3. Amori with the hammer.
She's one of those veterans that's been stepping up this year in a big way, especially with those landings. Just that dismount to a stick, that is going to build on Lily's score, if you ask me.
Oh, Collins, yes, how about that finish?
Now we get the mismatch, he and Shedrick. Look out, count it. He gets it, he's got to shoot it. Well, that's too open to have a 3 like that from a good shooter. Right now, just an offensive show is breaking out as Stevenson flushes one home.
A career high.
The runner does go. That is the most stolen bases in a single game all time by an Alabama base runner.
And that is a new career high. 9 3-pointers for Nye.
She's been so consistent with this pass and this routine all season long.
Those are our ATI Plays of the Week. Now let's take a look at our Players of the Week, brought to you by Legacy of Hope.
And we have several great performances. This week starting with a double-double on the hardwood. Sarah Ashley Barker led the Alabama women's basketball team to their 20th win of the season against Mississippi State. Barker finished with a double-double, 19 points and 12 rebounds with 8 assists.
Audrey Vandegrift set an Alabama record as the freshman set the single-game stolen base record with 5 in one game. Vandegrift finished with 9 stolen bases on the weekend in her first weekend of collegiate action.
The reigning men's singles national champion picked up a couple of big wins in the Tide's upset of 15th-ranked Florida State. Planishek was a part of the doubles win over the 4th-ranked doubles team and then picked up a win over the 15th-ranked singles player in the nation.
And Jaren Stevenson had a career performance in Alabama's first ever win over Texas in Austin. Stevenson was almost perfect as he connected on 7 of 8 from the floor, including 4 of 5 from beyond the arc, as he scored a career-high 22 points.
Those were our Legacy of Hope Players of the Week.
Some great performances for sure, and that big game in Coleman Coliseum is coming up on Saturday, and with baseball starting, I cannot wait to see what we have for next week.
Yeah, we've got a lot to cover, and it's going to be an exciting weekend. We hope to see you back here next week for another episode of Tide TV This Week. See you next week. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
This has been a presentation from Learfield,